Hello, everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. I'm Shelley Troyer with iTech, and welcome to our 10th week of Tech Tips Live, the weekly series where we get together to talk about new ways to incorporate technology into your daily workflow. A few housekeeping items. I have muted everybody's microphone, so we're going to try and save questions until the end. If you do have questions, feel free to send those in over the chat to everyone or to just to me, and I will ask those questions at the end. Or if you want to unmute your microphone at the end and ask your question live, you can do that as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to this week's presenter, Sheila Ellis Glasper from Communications and Marketing, who is here again with us this week, but this time she's going to talk about Instagram. So Sheila, I'll let you unmute your microphone and then go ahead and take it away.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm back again to do another social media presentation, and today we're going to be talking about 4 steps to Instagram success. And I am going to pull up my screen here. Okay.
Sheila, if you want to go ahead and swap the displays, because we're seeing the notes view as well.
You're seeing the notes view?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back and get to the actual, not the presenter view, but the regular.
Yes, if you do the reader view, you should be able to work that way as well.
The which view?
There should be a reader view.
Okay, it's giving me the play from start, which is also...
Okay, so now at the top there should be swap displays. You see that option to swap displays?
No, it's not giving me that.
Okay.
Let me see. No, it's not giving me that. Let me see if I can...
So go ahead and exit out of that again.
Okay.
Okay, and then go to slideshow.
And
let's try...
play from current slide?
I'm not sure on a Mac. Try the presenter view.
Okay, yeah, that's what was given the notes to everyone.
And you don't see that box that says swap displays?
Would it be on the top?
Yeah.
No, not seeing that.
Okay, we can probably just go ahead from here so we don't take too much time.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure.
Or even from here, we can see a pretty good image of your slides. So if you just want to click through the slides from here, even that would be fine.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Sorry about that. No. So this is not the best way to see it, this way?
So this is the one that has the notes at the bottom.
Okay, yeah, that's not good. Okay. It's not gonna, something's up with my PowerPoint, I guess. So I'll just go ahead and do it like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sorry guys for the delay here, but we'll go ahead and get started on the presentation today, talking about our 4 steps to Instagram success. And so again, my name is Sheila Ellis Glasper. I'm the social media specialist for Kansas State University. And my job is to manage our central university channels and then also help with training and social media questions as they arise from our different colleges, departments, programs, and units on the Kansas State University campus. So I will go ahead and get started here. The very first step that we're going to talk about are your bio essentials on Instagram. And your bio is very important. It's kind of like the homepage to your website. You don't have a whole lot of space here to to have a really long bio. So we need to make sure it's short and concise, and for people to really be able to get a good understanding of what your account is about. And so I have an example here, which is the university's bio on Instagram, and you can read here. There are some key elements in our bio. First, we want to let people know that we are the official Kansas State University Instagram account. We also want people to know about our signature hashtags that we utilize on Instagram in particular. And so we are highlighting the Wildcat Way campaign. And we're also letting people know, giving them a call to action and asking them, letting them know if you want to share your photos, make sure to use the hashtag CaptureKState, and that way we can see your photos and hopefully regram and interact with people and see some really cool photos across campus. Another vital part of your Instagram bio will be your bio link. This currently is the only place where you can actually share a link on Instagram. And so that's very important to make sure that you have the correct link there, and a link where you really want to drive traffic. And so currently we have the Wildcat Way website highlighted here, which we changed that a couple months ago. So that's also a place where you can kind of change according to a campaign or a major event or something that you're promoting. People also use this bio link on a particular post. So for instance, we could say, we could be promoting open house, and we could change this out to the open house link, and maybe just for a few days for that particular post, that our last post, we can just say, click the link in our bio, and you can find more information there, because Instagram does not have an option to include a link like some of the other social media channels. That's a way people are able to get around that. And so the next part here is I just wanted to showcase some bios of some companies that you guys have probably heard about, and some brands that you probably heard of, just to kind of show across Instagram some of the top accounts and how they're utilizing their bio space here. And so we've got L'Oreal Paris Official, and they're of course featuring their hashtag here, letting people know to show us your look and tag hashtag L'Oreal Makeup to be featured on their account. So that's really a best practice. And then also they're promoting their Snapchat account. And so using that space for that. And then they are giving a link here to their most recent blog post. So they're really utilizing that bio link space. And they're also, it's a bit.ly link. So now they can see exactly where people actually clicked this link from their Instagram bio, so they can see where how Instagram is directing traffic to their website. And so the next one here is Starbucks, and you can kind of see how they have used their bio space. They even have a little emoji here with a cup of coffee. And then we've got National Geographic. And so short and sweet, to the point, utilizing their bio links, and then also cross-promoting other channels and showcasing their different hashtag campaigns. So step 2, aside from your bio, would be curating your feed. And when I mean curating, we really want to think about Instagram as sort of like a magazine. And so if you think about a magazine, there's a certain style and a certain look to the magazine, and you want to showcase that on your Instagram feed. And so if you think about your Instagram account as more than just one individual post, and if you're thinking of what it looks like when people actually click your account and they see multiple pictures, do your pictures fit together, and do they tell a story? The way you can kind of do that is by editing your photos similarly, as far as like putting a special filter on all of your photos, or if you're going to go for like a bright theme, a colorful theme, a more nature theme. Of course, K-State, we have lots of purple in our feed, and so that's one of our pieces to our Instagram puzzle as far as how we're curating the K-State account. taking time to plan your content out and making sure you think about how the photos will look next to each other, and not just thinking about how the photos look individually when you post them. And then also resisting the urge to post something that may not fit within your theme. That way you keep some consistency. And so this is just an example from an account that has gotten some popularity, and as far as how well it's curated, and it's a company in India that sells a fruit drink. But you can just see their feed is really pretty here. You can see the different color schemes that they've got, and it really fits. And you have an idea of their brand just based off of looking at these few photos. And so I wanted to show our Instagram account from when we first started posting until now, so you can kind of see a difference. When we first started posting, we were still learning about Instagram and the power of Instagram, and we were trying all kind of different things. And you can kind of see here our feed looks. This is this photo to the left here. You can see we've got photos that are kind of have more white space around them. We've got like text over pictures. The reposting app that we used to use is just not as clean. And then you look to the right, and this is a more recent screenshot of looking at our feed. And just by looking at this, you can see it looks a lot better. All the photos are uniform. You see lots of purple. They're all the same size. And I just think it is more visually appealing. And when we think about Instagram, it's definitely a visual platform. And so the third step is when to post. And this is just some information that we found as far as what are good times to post. And we're given several different times during the day, and you definitely don't have to post 3 times a day on Instagram. In fact, that may be too much for your followers. And so we recommend to post at least once a day. But if you're not able to post once a day, at least a few times a week, and try to find a nice balance for your consistency there. A lot of people are talking about the Instagram algorithms and how they're changing. If you didn't know, Facebook actually purchased Instagram maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago. And so they're starting to implement some of the algorithms and things that you see on Facebook. They're starting to cross over onto Instagram. And one of those things is they're getting ready to, instead of your Instagram feed being chronological, it's now going to be organized according to what post Instagram thinks that you may want to see based off of what accounts you are most active with, the ones you engage the most with, the ones that you like their photos and comment on the most. Those are the photos that you're going to see first. And so it's still important to kind of post at the peak times on Instagram to get the most visibility. And so as you can see, it's just kind of, we run down, the different days and the different times. And if you see here, it's kind of like in the morning, after you would get to work, I guess around the time maybe when you're drinking your cup of coffee and people are browsing through their phones maybe to see what news they can find. And so that's a time. Another time during the day that's popular is around lunchtime. That's a popular time. And then in the evening, kind of after dinner time, when people have settled down, those are the times that people are most active on Instagram. And so also part of that is, what do you post? We know when to post, and so what do you actually post? And on the K-State Instagram account, we post a variety of content. Just regular photos, of course, but also videos. And currently Instagram is allowing 15-second videos that you can upload to your camera roll on your phone. But soon they're going to be rolling out 60-second videos, which is fantastic, especially for us and our video producers here, because they're always having to cut the videos so that we can fit them Instagram. And so they're going to be rolling out 60-second videos in the next few months. And they're going to be starting with the really big accounts first, and then it'll trickle down to everyone else. So we're looking forward to that. Graphics. People like to do a lot of like inspirational quotes, motivational quote graphics on Instagram, and those are really popular. Regrams and user generated content are really popular on Instagram. The example that I have here is actually a photo that we shared a couple weeks ago of Anderson Hall, which people love to take pictures of Anderson Hall. It's like one of our, it's like our landmark signature building on campus. So I see tons of Anderson Hall photos that people tag us in every day. And Anderson in the snow, Anderson in the spring, in the summer, you name it, with the sunset behind it, with the sunrise, we see it all. And so we love to share them when we can. And this one was a really good one from a student. And so we always make sure that we ask their permission first before we just regram their photo. We ask them if it's okay, and then we'll give them a shout out on our Instagram account. And we wait until they say that that's fine before we actually regram the photo. And so we tagged her here, and she did use the Capture K-State hashtag. And we made sure to put our geolocation here for Anderson Hall. So that hashtag Capture K-State is a great one to just kind of search. We search it daily to see what new content is out there. And our final step here is using hashtags and geolocations. And so hashtags are super important on Instagram. A lot of people may not know the proper way to use hashtags on Instagram because it's a little different than other channels. You actually get up to 30 hashtags that you can use. But a best practice that we've found is that actually having, you would write your actual post. And so I'll go back here so you can see. So you write your actual caption in your photo when you post it, and then you come back and put in all your hashtags after you've posted your photo. That way you don't look spammy, and you don't have a post with like 30 hashtags after that looks pretty spammy, and people don't like that. So if you just make a second comment and put all your hashtags in there. The best way to do that is actually pulling up, you can research hashtags that work great on Instagram for your brand or whatever it is that you're posting about. So say for this picture here, we've got a statue in the university gardens. And so we would be looking for hashtags related to springtime, flowers, any kind of Kansas hashtags, campus hashtags that we're using. And you can kind of keep a running list of hashtags in your notes section on your phone. That way you don't have to think of all of these hashtags as soon as you post your photo. You can have them kind of ready, and you can have some different types of hashtag, some different hashtag mashups in your notes section on your phone, because you want to make sure that you add that second comment with the hashtags as soon as you can, because the longer you wait to add the hashtags, the longer it will take, the further down in folks' feed the post will be. So you want to make sure that you do that as soon as you can, so that your post is up pretty high and can get as much engagement as possible, as quickly as possible. And so a website that I like to use for research as far as hashtags go is tagsforlikes.com. So that's a cool website. You just go on there and search the topic. And then of course there are like the K-State hashtags. So it's just like hashtag K-State, hashtag Kansas State University, Capture K-State, our signature hashtag, and different hashtags related to K-State. Also, when you click a hashtag, you can go to the little search section on Instagram, and you can search related hashtags. And you can explore trending hashtags too. And another important point is to make sure you engage. You can click at any time, you can click the Kansas State University hashtag or hashtag K-State, capture K-State, and see what type of content is out there. And if you're posting from a university account, you could just like related photos, campus related photos. And so that way that user will know, hey, College of Education is on Instagram, and because they like my photo, and they so now I'm going to check them out, and maybe you might get a follow that way. Or you could even comment and say, hey, really cool photo that you took of Bluemont Hall. Thanks. Thanks for taking that photo. Or you might ask, could we repost this on our account if you really like the photo? And so make time to engage on Instagram. That'll definitely help you build your account. I think when I first started, about 2.5 years ago, our Instagram account had 2,000 followers. Now we're at over 25,000 followers. So we've been able to really grow our account in a very quick time frame. And it's partially because of our engagement and being able to take time every day, or sometimes every other day, to just make sure we engage and let students know, hey, we're here on Instagram, and we're going to provide, cool content for you guys. K-State also was named by Business Insider magazine most Instagrammed location in the state. So that's a really cool thing, a cool brag for K-State, that we got that designation. And so it really shows that our campus is very active on Instagram. And so it's definitely a channel that our students are using. It's a channel that our prospective students are using as they visit campus. And so that's kind of where that engagement part comes in at. They're definitely engaged on Instagram. And so I wanted to show you guys how to use the geotags. We were just on this slide a second ago where we were showing the university gardens. We decided to use this geotag for this photo because it was taken in the university gardens. And you'll see this photo right next to it. It's actually when you click this actual, sorry, that was my phone. When you click this actual geolocator here that says Kansas State University Gardens, it will then take you to the feed and it'll showcase all the photos where other users use that geotag. So that's another way that you can engage. And just to kind of show you how to do that, when you're posting, when you're getting ready to post your photo and you're writing your caption and tagging people if they need to be tagged, there's this section here, add the location. And when you click that, it'll show you areas nearby that you might want to tag. So if you're on campus, it's going to show you Kansas State University. If you're near Anderson Hall, that might pop up. And if you're not seeing the actual location that you want to tag, you can either just use a general Kansas State University geotag, which will show all the photos taken on our campus, which is a good one to get visibility. Or you can try to kind of start typing in the area. Like, so if you're at Justin Hall, you can start typing that in, and that probably, that location will probably pop up so that you can select that. And so you can utilize the geotags. You can use the search part of Instagram, and you can search different locations and be able to engage with people in nearby areas, which is kind of cool. So say you're setting up at an event, for instance, the foundation, they're having some events in Texas over the weekend. And so if they're in Houston and they want to engage with some people in the area, they can just search Houston, Texas, and look at the different posts that are there. If they want to get even more specific, say that they're having an event in a certain public place where a lot of people, go, maybe they might search that location and then kind of see what's being posted in the area and engage with people there. And so we're almost through here. I just wanted to share some of my favorite Instagram apps. And I have to also share, Instagram is actually one of my favorite social media channels. It's probably my favorite social media channel. And these are just some different apps that I've used, and I really like them. Photo editing apps here. Snapseed is a really good one. Enlight is a really great one too. And these are all, they were free when I got them, but sometimes as apps get more popular, they then charge a little bit for them, but I don't think they're over $2 or $3 if they charge for them anymore. Also for video editing, GIFs are really popular on Instagram as well as Twitter. And so that might be something you might be interested in. Instagram has their own app for creating GIFs. And so that's something you might be interested in to playing around with and experimenting. And that's another thing with Instagram, you really can kind of experiment, and that's what we've done. We've experimented a little bit to see what worked best for us. And we checked our analytics to kind of see what worked, what got the most likes, what got the most engagement. And we like to use Iconosquare for our analytics for Instagram. Also for scheduling, because I know we're all busy and we're, trying to post on all different channels. And so there are scheduling tools for Instagram. One of my favorites is Planogram, simply because it allows you to see how your feed is going to look. And so you can move your photos around so that you can kind of see how they'll look next to each other and not just look at each individual post. And finally, for graphics, if you're trying to do any kind of inspirational quotes, motivational quotes, if you need to put text over a photo for whatever reason, some really great apps are Over, and I believe Over is for Android as well. Typorama is a really nice one too, and WordSwag. WordSwag is probably my favorite. You can upload a photo and then put your text over it, and you can kind of play around with shadows and colors, and it's kind of like a graphic designer in your pocket. So I wish I had time to show you that app, but if you download it, you'll be able to see it's a really cool app. And finally, just one other bonus tip as far as photography goes. Since Instagram is all about photography, it wouldn't be right for me not to say something about, give some kind of photo tip. And this might seem like a really simple thing, but oftentimes, if you're a lady like me and you have your cell phone in your purse, you might get like something on your actual your phone lens. And so just cleaning the front and back of your phone lens sometimes will improve your photos tremendously, because it might get something on there, the front and the back of your lens. Even just you talking on the phone, your facial, makeup, or even just oils on your skin can get on your phone, and then that affects the lens. And so just cleaning off your lens can really help. Just using your shirt, or if you have a soft cloth, trying to take photos with different angles and from different perspectives also really help too. A lot of times, if you kind of get down low to take a picture, or if you stand up on, kind of high on something, on a chair or whatever, different perspectives. If you kind of go up, if there are steps nearby, going up the steps a little bit to get like a more overview versus taking a straight shot. Making sure your lighting is really good is important, and using filters with intention. I think when Instagram first came out, people were really loving the different kind of filters, and we don't use filters on the K-State photos anymore on our Instagram account. We just stick to basic photo editing. And so, but if you use a whole lot of different filters, it could kind of make your feed not look cohesive. And so that's all I have for Instagram. And if you guys have questions, I'll be ready to take them now.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. So feel free to either unmute your microphone or send a question in over the chat. Maybe one to get started. So Sheila, last week you talked about Twitter. And with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all these other social media accounts, how would you go about recommending to someone which social media outlet to use? And would you also recommend using more than one outlet to post the same content?
Those are really great questions. And those are questions that come up quite often. I think it really depends on who your audience is. For K-State, for our central channels, we have several different audiences. We have, alumni. We have young alumni. We have alumni that graduated from K-State in the 60s. We've got prospective students. We've got their parents. And we've got people in the community. People that are just fans of K-State. And so we've got a lot of different people to cater to. And so we try to have our social media strategy built around the type of audiences that are more frequently engaged on those channels. So for instance, Facebook, that's, one of the first social media channels. So you've got a lot of, you've got some people that are a little more mature or more seasoned on, on Facebook. So, we make sure that we keep that in mind with our content. But as far as sharing the same content across different channels, I think it really depends on what the content is, and you have to make sure that you really utilize the features of each channel. For instance, Instagram, the photos are square. And so you want to make sure that you keep that in mind when you're sharing that content. You might have a video and you have to trim it down for Instagram because they only take 15-second videos. So you'd share a different one on Facebook than you would on Instagram. And then as far as just how many channels people should be on, I really just think it depends on the manpower that you have. If you've got some people on a team that are able to help out with the different channels, then I think that, you can think about being on multiple channels. But just as a general rule of thumb, I say 2 to 3 channels max, because anything more than that can be kind of overwhelming. And I'd rather see people doing really great things on just a couple of channels than being kind of spread so thin and not, really delivering great content on all the channels that they're on.
That was a great answer. Thank you. One question that came in: how many K-State Instagram accounts are out there already?
That is a great question and a great opportunity for me to address that. We do have a social media directory on the K-State website. And so we have information. It's just k-state.edu/social media, and people can submit their social media accounts there. So we basically we try to do a good job to surf around on Instagram to find any new accounts. But at this time, I would say that there's probably at least 10 social media accounts, or Instagram accounts that are coming from official university, colleges or departments.
Okay. Any more questions from the chat, or please feel free to unmute your microphone. Okay, so I'll let people keep thinking on that. But right now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen again and remind everyone that if you want to watch today's tech tip or any of the previous ones, you can go to our website and we have them all posted there. If you missed last week's tech tip on tweeting, Sheila did a great job of explaining all about tweeting and why you should tweet and what you should tweet, and the video is already posted there. So feel free to go back to this website for any of our previous sessions. We'll get the one from today posted as soon as we can. Next week, I believe we have Kathy Rodriguez online right now, and she's going to give a talk about designing graphics for social media and presentations and flyers. So Kathy, if you want to unmute your microphone and jump on here really quick.
Next week, I'm going to talk about a free tool called Canva. And this is really a tool for people who are not graphic designers. So if you struggle using Photoshop or Illustrator, Canva is really a nice solution because that makes all of that really easy. If you need to whip out graphics for maybe a Facebook or Twitter account, even presentations, I'm just going to go through the basics on how to use that software. So hope to see you all next week.
Excellent. Thank you, Kathy. And I didn't see any other questions come in over the chat, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Thank you, Sheila, again for joining us and giving us a great presentation. And I hope everyone can join us next week for Kathy's presentation. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks.